For most of its existence, the WNBA has operated within a paradox. It delivered elite-level basketball, strategically complex, physically demanding, and technically refined, yet it rarely occupied the cultural or commercial space its quality justified. Progress came in increments rather than leaps, driven more by persistence than recognition. That pattern held for years, until it didn't. What unfolded recently was not simply an increase in popularity, it was a structural shift, one that altered how the league is perceived, discussed, and valued. Even within the WNBA itself, the speed and magnitude of this change were unexpected. A league built on professionalism, not publicity. From the outset, the WNBA emphasized substance over spectacle. Coaching systems were disciplined, player development pathways were rigorous. The league prioritized fundamentals, decision-making, and team-oriented basketball. However, this professionalism existed largely outside the mainstream spotlight. Media exposure remained selective, commercial growth moved cautiously. The league was often evaluated not on its own merits, but through comparison, an approach that obscured its identity rather than clarified it. Yet internally, standards continued to rise. Players adapted to faster tempo, defensive schemes became more sophisticated, offensive spacing and shot selection reflected modern basketball trends. The quality of play was improving measurably, even if external recognition lagged behind. The breaking point of the old narrative. The turning point did not come from marketing innovation or policy change, it came from competition. A sequence of high-level performances demanded attention through excellence alone. These were games defined by tactical intelligence, composure under pressure, and execution at critical moments. They resisted simplification, they rewarded serious analysis. As these moments accumulated, the old narrative began to collapse under its own weight. Viewers who tuned in out of curiosity stayed because the basketball warranted it. Analysts who approached with skepticism found little to dismiss. The product held up, not emotionally, but empirically. From peripheral coverage to legitimate analysis. One of the clearest indicators of change was the nature of media discussion. Coverage evolved from superficial acknowledgement to substantive evaluation. Discussions centered on matchups, coaching adjustments, efficiency metrics, and player impact. This shift mattered. It signaled that the WNBA was no longer being treated as an exception or a cause, but as a competitive league worthy of critical engagement. That distinction marked a fundamental transformation in how the sport was framed. The league did not gain relevance by lowering standards, it gained relevance by exceeding them. Athletes as the primary agents of change. This transformation was driven by players who performed with consistency and authority. Veteran leadership stabilized teams in high-pressure environments. Younger players entered the league with tactical awareness and confidence shaped by elite development systems. Importantly, excellence became sustainable rather than isolated. Success was no longer limited to a handful of franchises or individuals. Competitive balance improved, making outcomes less predictable and the league more compelling. These athletes did not redefine expectations through rhetoric, but through repetition, night after night, possession after possession. Commercial and cultural consequences. As competitive credibility solidified, commercial interest followed. Sponsors responded to reliability rather than novelty. Broadcast partners adjusted programming to reflect growing demand. Attendance figures improved, not as a one-time surge, but as a trend. Beyond economics, the cultural implications were significant. The WNBA began influencing broader conversations about professional standards, opportunity structures, and long-term investment in women's sports. This influence emerged not from advocacy alone, but from performance that justified confidence. An unexpected acceleration. While growth had been anticipated, its pace was not.
The league found itself managing expansion of interest in real time, adapting infrastructure, media strategy, and competitive expectations faster than projected. This acceleration introduced challenges, but also confirmed something essential. The foundation was strong enough to support growth without dilution of quality. That realization may have been the league's greatest surprise. Positioned for a sustainable future. The WNBA now stands at a critical inflection point. Increased visibility brings increased scrutiny, but also unprecedented opportunity. Expansion discussions, talent pipelines, and international engagement are no longer aspirational, they are practical considerations. The league's task moving forward is not to chase momentum, but to manage it intelligently. What has become clear is this: the moment did not arrive early. It arrived precisely when the league was ready. The WNBA may not have expected this level of transformation, but it had quietly prepared for it over decades. And that preparation is what ensures this moment will endure.